Uh-oh. What's going on with mass deportations? I thought that was still happening. What's going on, guys? We getting what we voted for? Are we getting what we voted for? Remember that? Got what I voted for? Yeah. Well, now it's February 2026, and it's already done. And it's already cooked. You're finished. It's over. They're already telling us. So funny. I saw a tweet today from one of these Republicans. They said, we got to get it back on track in 2026. And then we're going to push through to 28. It's like, wow. We're already doing that, huh? So we'll get into it tonight. Our featured story, we're talking about this new Trump interview on NBC. Did you see this? Get a load of this. Trump goes on NBC, and they finally ask him the question. They say, are we still doing mass deportations or not? They said, are we deporting every illegal alien or just the criminals? He says, just the criminals. He said, we're going to focus on the criminals, just the criminals. That's what we're doing. And then he proceeds to totally undercut everything they've been doing. He says we need a softer touch. He said the death of those agitators was a tragedy and a mistake, and they shouldn't have died. They're going to put body cameras on ICE because it's like George Floyd all over again. And here's to top it all off, Tom Homan says they're withdrawing 700 ICE agents from the city. And they're going to prepare to withdraw all the ICE agents that were deployed in this special operation. Amazing. And what's amazing about it, do you remember when all of this went down 3 or 4 weeks ago in January? Renee Good was shot. Very quickly, Alex Preddy was shot. It was obvious this was going to happen. Anybody with eyeballs could see. Anybody with a brain could see that Trump was going to cave. That's where it was headed. That is what he was signaling towards. It was so obvious. Do you remember what people were saying on the timeline, the kind of delusion? I saw one guy, they're all armchair generals, all LARPing like they're tacticians. I saw one guy saying, no, this is what you want to happen. This is a war of attrition, and the left has to deploy their reserves, and their supply lines are long, and Trump is... Yeah, it's 5-dimensional chess, right? It's always 5-dimensional chess. It's all part of the plan. The cope in January was unbelievable. Every day, these Trump shills. It's like Trump derangement syndrome in the other direction. These Trump shills were on Twitter every single day saying, see, Trump isn't backing down. See, he's not totally going to cave. Okay, well, he obviously is now. Total surrender, total capitulation, total walk back in every way. It's just not even a question anymore. They pulled Bovino out. They took 700 ICE agents out. They say they're going to take more ICE agents out. They're putting body cameras on them. Trump says it's a softer touch. You have Homan over there giving a press conference saying, yeah, it's not perfect and we're making mistakes and we're going to correct everybody. And in the end, Trump says no more mass deportations of illegal aliens. Told you so. I told you it would be this.
You'll notice that a lot of people are disappointed in the Trump administration because he campaigned heavily on mass deportation. In his own words, he said it was going to be the biggest mass deportation operation in the history of America. Now, here we are in February 2026, and he's kind of copping pleas. He's actually softening up, and I think it's because he's getting a lot of backlash. The whole ICE operations in these major blue cities are getting a lot of backlash of how they're doing it, being a little bit too aggressive with citizens. And in my opinion, I think it's just got too heated. Too many backlash. civilians are getting hurt. In their defense, I would say, in my opinion, I think it's because there's a lot of strong opposition to it. They're making ICE agents' jobs very hard. I don't think anyone would get hurt if you guys would just let them do their job, but they're doing things a lot of aggressive ways. It's not a big thing that people are a fan of from the right side, so it's some things to consider. But resurfaced clips of Nick Fuentes is popping up saying he's right about Trump walking back the mass deportations, because here we are in February 2026.
This is the first domino to fall, mark my words. And, you know, I hope it doesn't go down this way. But if I had to bet right now, and I'm not a gambler, but if I was, I would bet you that this is how it's going to play out in the next 4 years. They may try to do something 2025, 2026 at the latest. They are going to get huge pushback from the media, from the Democrats, from the Republicans, from the donors. They're going to totally walk it back. And then they're going to say, well, mission accomplished. What we always meant was mass deportation of criminal illegals, violent criminals, gangs, whatever. You know, but you're not going to see 1 million people per year deported. I think it will be under 1 million per year. And in that sense, there will be nothing massive about it. And I think that just like the border wall, they're going to start it too late. There's going to be heavy opposition. And then when they don't get it done, they're going to come out and retcon it and say, well, we didn't really mean mass deportations. What we meant was self-deportations. They're going to say they meant some other thing, just like they did with the wall. You know, they only built 83 miles of barrier, or I should say barrier in 83 miles of land where there previously was no barrier. Everything else was replacement. And instead of building a wall, they built a fence.
Yeah, kind of scary of how accurate Nick Fuentes was on there. The mass deportation numbers are very low. It's not even qualifying for a super mass deportation in which Trump was campaigning for. So it's a big letdown. I think a lot of people who did vote for Trump are kind of let down because we voted for something, we didn't quite get it.
But you're going to vote Republican anyway. They don't care. You're mad. The Republicans have been mad for 30 years. They vote anyway. They don't care. It costs them nothing. They care about the economy. They care about the elections. They care about the midterms. So really what I'm saying when I talk about deportations is think about how politics works for you. Does it work for you? Is this deal working for you? Illegal immigration is like maybe the biggest thing ruining our quality of life. We could deal with all the other nonsense. But on top of it, you got Indian truck drivers slamming into people, causing a fucking 6 million mile long pileup on the highway. You've got Venezuelans with their kids on their back selling candy bars they stole from Walgreens in the middle of the intersection. They're stealing cars. They're breaking into cars, driving up the cost of housing. We don't even know where to put all these people. They're making it so that it takes 8 hours to get seen at a hospital at any given time. All we voted for in the last election was get these fucking people out. We didn't vote to bomb Iran. We didn't vote to have regime change in Venezuela. We didn't vote to make Ukraine safe for democracy. And yet we're doing all that. We didn't vote to make Colombia safe for Jews so they don't get criticized. We didn't vote to make it so that you can't boycott Israel. We voted to get these fucking people out. And what was promised was a whole of government effort to massively deport these people. In reality, they were never serious about doing it. They never intended on following through. They said that because they knew that's what you wanted to hear. They do it every election. It's called red meat for the base. It's juicy. It's bloody. They throw it to you. It's a scrum. The people go in. And then they know they'll do what they always do. They forget about it, like they do with everything. The Epstein files, the Capitol footage, you name it. Obamacare, did they ever repeal Obamacare? They campaigned on that in 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. It's still there. It's Obamacare still there. It's all still there. So this is where you need to change how you think about politics, where you think, oh, well, it's going to be better under Trump. Well, look, I mean, I don't care what happens in Gaza as long as we get our deportations. When you vote, it's sort of like, think about it like this. When the Federal Reserve prints money, who does the money go to first? It goes to the finance sector first.
Yeah, pretty bold statements from Nick Fuentes. And look, I think he's vindicated. A lot of things that he did predicted prior to Trump even getting into the White House is coming to fruition. We see it in February 2026. A lot of us voted for mass deportations. We voted for no war of Iran. That right there is a teeter-totter roller coaster situation with them. And the fact that, look, he's copping pleas right now. He's softening up. Like I said, I think it's because of the backlash he's getting from those cities. They're making it very difficult. So now he's trying to come to the table and actually, if you see the interview, he said he's working with the governors a lot softer. But when he was campaigning, when we were voting for him, we thought he was talking real, being real with his base, saying, yo, we gonna get these dangerous illegals out of our country. And I do agree with Nick. It would increase our quality of life if we do get these dangerous illegal immigrants out of the country. But it's the way they are doing this in these blue cities that very aggressive tactics, civilians getting killed, and so let me know what you guys think. Is Nick right on the money when it comes to these predictions about mass deportations? Is he talking crazy? Are we not doing a good job? Or are you with Trump on copying his plea? So let me know what you think. Peace.